there was a podcast where one NFL legend talked about football? What about two NFL legends?
This is Wideout's World,
where the gridiron comes alive. NFL legends Irving Fryar and Michael Timpson, breaking down the game from the ultimate insider perspective. Game recaps, upcoming previews, and exclusive analysis straight from the minds of those who've been in the trenches. Wideout's World. Let's do it.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
We are ready for some football, baby. What's good, everybody? Football. This is Wideout's World. Wow. I'm Irving Fryar. This is my co-host, Michael Timpson, a good friend. Yep, right there.
Howdy.
He held it down last week while I was handling some business. Did a good job last week, those of you who watched. It was a great job last week, man. How did that feel? How did that feel, talking by yourself for an hour?
It felt like it felt. No, we engaged the listeners, and so we had some back and forth with the callers.
It must have been Nelton.
Well, he missed you. He says typically that you didn't show up when they won. So he was looking for you.
All these times they've been winning, and I guess I didn't show up. That's the first time I wasn't on the show.
He was looking for you.
That's all right, but they lost this, so this time he won't show up. I'm sure he might not be on today. Oh man, listen, we have we do a prayer every morning at 7:00. Been doing it for probably about 7-8 months now. Every morning at 7:00, we don't miss a day. It started because my brother-in-law had gotten sick, had a stroke, major stroke 7 months ago. He's doing well, back to work and all. Don't even look like he went, whatever he went through, it doesn't even look like it. It doesn't even look like he had a stroke. But man, people keep passing away, people that we have on our prayer list. Another person passed away. I just got a text message, another person passed away. I say that to say this. Life is short, everybody. Temp, life is short, Skippy. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Treat people right. Love on people. Do the right things. But man, take time to enjoy your life because you just never know. Life is short. And listen, I'm on the other side of the mountain now. I'm 63. I used to be at the top of the mountain when I was 50. I'm on the other side now. So I got to enjoy it. Got to take the time to smell the roses and feel the sun on your face, and listen to the waves crash at the beach. Just take the time to enjoy life because you never know and you don't have long. It's just a vapor. The Bible says life is just a vapor. But anyway, just finished the divisional round, 4 games. Actually, it was a great weekend, man. Some great games. Yeah, great games. Very entertaining. Some were disappointing the way the games ended, because they ended with stupid mistakes. But that's how the ball bounces sometimes. Billy Bell's in the house. What's going on? And Eddie Casper is in the house. Good to see you two fellas with us tonight. So we're going to go through our normal schedule here at Wideout's World. We're going to start out with our news of the week. Since I'm kind of hosting, I guess. Mike, I'm gonna let you go first. Yeah, well, just kind of. We're co-hosts. Just sometimes I'm running this. I'm engineering, and sometimes you're engineering. So,
okay.
But they don't know. They don't know the difference.
You said kinda. So all is well. So news of the week. I mean, the news right now is just coaching carousel, man. Just as I was prepping for the show, the Dolphins hired Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers. So he was hired as their head coach. Yeah, defensive guy. He's had some success there over the last couple of years. His defense has been ranked pretty high. They've done a good job, and it's real clear that the Dolphins are going with a defensive mindset as opposed to an offensive mindset. And I think that kind of signals the end of the Tua experience. Now, the relationship, which I thought was interesting, Jeff Hafley, because he's kind of skipped over a lot of guys, man, that were bigger names, if you will, touted as the next in line for some head coaching jobs, and he took it. And the GM because they have a new GM. His name's Sullivan, and he was in Green Bay the last 2 years. So there's that connection there.
Right.
That he knew Hafley. He brought him in. It's a done deal. So Hafley's the new coach with the Dolphins. Just a day or so ago, the Falcons hired Stefanski, and I know how you're a fan of his. Stefanski was hired. The problem I got with that is a retread. I mean, we keep going with these retreads, man.
We're going to retread.
Retread.
Yeah, right. If he didn't do it somewhere else, what makes you think he's going to do it at your place? Right. Right.
And my only thing is, it's just a lot of young talent out there,
right,
that deserve an opportunity.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Stefanski. It's just he's a retread. We talked about the Bills. The Bills fired McDermott, which I don't understand that for nothing. I mean, you've been there 9 years and you've had 8 playoff appearances. I guess they said, well, you had enough chances.
Well, he's been one and done 4 out of 5 years. The last 4 out of 5 years, one and done in the playoffs. Yeah. I think they've had enough of that.
I guess so. After 8 playoff, he was eight straight playoff appearances, but he didn't get it done. So I guess, in all fairness to the ownership, they said, hey, you know what? We gave you a shot. And the other one was the Giants. Harbaugh. The Giants selected him as the head coach. He has some talent on offense. He has some talent on defense. Yeah. So that's a good hire. So
I was going to say the same thing. I think that's a good hire by the Giants. But then, you mentioned it earlier in that, these coaches are defensive coaches being hired. And that's what's happening. We're seeing now in the playoffs, divisional round, the defenses are what are taking over. These offenses, aren't as productive as maybe they were during the season, but you're seeing defenses take over now, and these defensive games are taking place in the playoffs, and teams are realizing that in the NFL now. You got to have a great defense if you're going to win games, if you're going to advance to the playoffs and give yourself a chance to get to the Super Bowl and have a Super Bowl victory. You've got to have at least a top 5, top 6, top 7 defense. And that's what we're seeing right now in the playoffs. We saw it. But
it's just the flavor. It's the flavor of the month, because as well as I do, they want to see the ball in the air. They want points scored.
Right.
So, you can't have it both ways.
Well, they can't have it both ways, but the teams are realizing, the owners are realizing, the head coaches are realizing, I got to have a good defense. Because, I can't move the ball because of these defensive schemes and the defensive players. They're faster, they're bigger, they're more equipped, they're more prepared. And, you got some of these geniuses who are defensive coordinators, blitzing and putting in exotic defenses, fooling the quarterbacks and intercepting the ball, getting turnovers. You're seeing it a whole lot, particularly as the games become more important and in the playoffs. So teams are going, whether the league or fans want the ball to be thrown in the air and to score more points and for it to be more exciting in that capacity. The teams, the coaches, the owners want to win, and they're going to do what it's going to take and whatever the trend is whatever the trend is to win. Yeah. And that's defense right now.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, you got to have a good balance. You got to have a good defense, and you got to have a good offense.
That's the point.
You can't win with a great defense and your offense sucks, and we're seeing some of that take place as well. So that's good stuff. Good news. I thought that you would probably, because that's kind of your mindset, I thought you were probably going to talk about the coaches, and that's news. It's going to go on, probably the next couple of weeks before everybody's settled in and has their coaches picked, and get them going so they can start preparing for the draft and making trades and, free agency and all that kind of stuff. So, these teams, these owners got to make moves quick when the season is over so they can get people in place so they can start, planning for the next season. The big news for me is, and it has an impact, I believe, on the playoffs, a significant impact on the playoffs for the Denver Broncos, and that's the fact that Bo Nix is out, that he broke his ankle next to the last play of the game that he was in. He comes to the side. Nobody knew about it. He comes to the sidelines and tells the coach, something wrong. Good game, yeah. I don't know, something wrong. Something wrong with my ankle. I think I hurt my ankle. Come to find out it's broken. Sean Payton had the the press conference after the game, comes back 40 minutes later and calls another press conference to alert everyone to the fact that Bo Nix is out. He's going to have surgery this week if he hasn't had it already. I think he said Tuesday. And he will be out, and his backup, Jarrett Stidham, is going to be starting for the conference championship, the AFC conference championship, which is, Sean Payton keeps saying and trying to, encourage his team like he did when the Bears scored. Right. I mean, not the Bears. When Buffalo in that game, when he went to overtime, he got everybody on the sidelines and encouraged them, and they came out and won in overtime. But he keeps trying to encourage everybody and tell everybody that Jarrett Stidham is the starter anywhere else. Well, you know what? Yeah. If he's a starter Mike, he's been in the league 6 years, and he's been a backup for 6 years. What do you expect the coach to say? What do you expect him to say? Well, he didn't have to say. I'm saying he didn't have to say that. He's saying that, but he didn't have to say that. He's a backup, and he's a backup for a reason.
So let me ask you this. So he should say, hey, you go into the press conference, he said, well, we got Stidham in, he's a backup. He's been a backup. And, we
well, you don't have to say that. He's just our backup. He's going to start, and we're going to do the best we can. Okay. I believe in him. I have confidence in him. I think he can get the job done.
He got to sound a little bit more optimistic than that.
Don't just flat out lie. He's had 4 snaps last season against Dallas. That was week 8. He started the 2 final games in 2023 when Russell Wilson was benched. He's got 20 games. He's played in 20 games. Not started 20 games, but he's got 20 spots in 20 games of experience.
Taking a knee.
8 with the Patriots, 5 games with the Raiders, 8 games with the Broncos. Now, he signed a 2-year, this is what kills me. He's a backup. He ain't been on the field, Mike. He hasn't even been on the field. He hasn't started. He hasn't made a difference at all. He's thrown, in his time on the field, he's thrown 8 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions. He's had 4 starts.
Okay.
In 2023, he signed a 2-year deal for $10 million. So far in his career, Mike, this cat he got it made. He knows the game. So far in his career, he's made $25 million since 2019. And he's a backup. Can you believe that? Boy, this cat has made 25. He's just chilling.
We missed
pockets full.
Our moment. We missed our moment.
Bro, did we miss it? I almost got mad when I heard that. I'm like, what? I played 17 years. They ain't make near no $25 million. What?
You know what was interesting? I looked at, just for context, when Jerry Rice got a deal and he was the highest paid, he made $6 million. Mm-hmm. And that was like, wow. Jerry Rice got $6 million. Now they make 30 top receivers, 35 million a year. He was $6 million.
Yeah.
This was, 30 obviously years ago. But anyway, it's just a big difference. So go ahead.
But he's a backup, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
6 years. In 6 years as a backup, he's made $25 million.
And he'll go another 6 years.
Oh, he'll go because he's not doing anything. He's a backup. Yeah, he's not getting beat up. He's not getting sacked. He's not getting hit. None of that.
But if he go in there and wet the bed, he may no longer be a backup.
Well, I think if he goes in and just does absolutely terrible, which I don't think he will. I think Sean Payton will
game plan, right?
Yeah, game plan and simplify the offense enough so that he won't go out there and get confused. And, like Don Shula would say, piss up a rope. That's what Don Shula would say, rest his soul. He won't go do that and won't look bad. Sean's not going to set him up like that. Plus, Sean wants the team to win. So he's going to put him in position and call the type of plays that he's more comfortable with. I mean, he's got the benefit to it. He's got a whole week to prepare. But I just don't see them winning. No. Not with this guy coming in and not having played or not having even thrown a pass this season.
Right.
He played in 4 games and ain't thrown a pass. Well, I should say, he appeared in 2024, appeared in 4 games, but threw no passes. Like you said, it's trash time where he's just handing the ball off, taking a knee. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately for the Broncos, they lost their starting quarterback. It would have been very interesting. We'll talk about it when we talk about the game. It would have been very interesting to see how Bo Nix would respond in a conference championship game. But unfortunate.
If they bring Phillip Rivers off the couch and can make him functional, I don't put it past Sean Payton making this guy functional and representing well enough to play a game. I don't put it past.
I don't put it past him either. I think he'll do all right, but I don't think he'll be able to win the game. He's not going to go out there and win the game. I'd be very surprised. I mean, anything can happen. We know that. But I'd be very surprised if he goes out there. He's playing against the Patriots, man. You see the Patriots play yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
That defense is crazy. I didn't realize their defense is just getting better. Their defense has taken it to another level since the playoffs. So if they play anything near that, he's going to be in trouble. Yeah, he's going to be in trouble. Milton Williams, that cat, man, is a force. They're coming off the edge. Okay, but that's my news of the week. I just thought that was very unfortunate for the Broncos, and for Bo Nix, having fought their way through and made it to the conference championship, one game away from the Super Bowl, and now they're starting.
Did you find out who the backup would be if Stedham?
I saw. So I started to write it down. I didn't write it down. Yeah,
that's the interesting part.
Yeah,
who in the world is that guy?
I saw the name. I looked it up earlier today, but I didn't write it down.
No, as you was talking, I thought about it because that may be a reality. Because if Stedham gets hit, and he ain't been hit, and all of a sudden he come up lame.
Well, he ain't been hit, so he's going to get hit. The Patriots are going to hit him. That's a reality. I can guarantee that's going to happen in the game. But man, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. Hopefully it can be a competitive game. Hopefully it can come out and compete. And I'm like you said, Sean is going to put him out there with a game plan that's going to be conducive for him. That's going to be put him in a position where he can at least
a lot of hitches,
be productive. Yeah, it won't be anything real creative. It won't be a whole lot of checks. It won't be a whole lot of that kind of stuff. If the defense is in the right kind of defense for that offensive play, they're just going to take one on the chin and get back in the huddle and run the next play. Won't be a whole lot of shifting. But, he's been in the offense all year long. It's not like he doesn't know it. He just hasn't been out in the field actually running it. So
when the bullets are live.
With live bullets, yeah. And plus it's the playoffs. It's the conference championship. Every week we've seen it. Every week this season, which has been impressive. From the wild card week to the divisional week to the conference week, every week the games have gotten a little more intense. Yeah. And they're actually playing like they're in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. All the teams, man, it's gone, overtime games and man, a lot of turnovers, and it's impressive how they're playing. These games are being played in bad weather and they're still playing hard. Although they're, it's been sloppy at times, but they're still playing hard, maintaining. So, you got a wide receiver. You got one wide receiver. I got one wide receiver of the week. You got three wide receivers because there wasn't a whole lot. You got three.
I struggle with this a little bit.
Yeah, I did too. So I just chose one.
I'll be honest with you. I had two.
Okay.
And then at the end, I threw a third one in there just because that's what we typically do is the three. But I'll let you slide because I was close to just one. To be honest with you. So my number three, because he's moving the sticks, and that's probably why he made the list. Cooper Kupp. Seattle, 5 catches for 60 yards, 5 targets, motto of consistency. And, he's going to have to come up big because, they're going to try and get in Jigba and Cooper Kupp's going to come up big. And he often does. Right. So he was my number 3. My number 2 was K. Boutte. I think that's
Booty. You say Booty. They call him Booty. The announcers pronounce his last name Booty.
No, that's got a little New Orleans twang on it. It's probably Boutte.
But they say booty.
All right. Boutte.
Booty.
Because like they say go, in New Orleans, it's Geaux. So
Lord
this
have
guy
mercy.
kind of little
No,
New
and they
Orleans
say
flair.
Norleans. They don't even say New Orleans. Norleans.
And you know why I say that? Because he went to LSU.
He went to LSU?
So it might be a little something to that. With
Okay.
LSU, third-year receiver from LSU, 3 catches for 75 yards, 1 yard. One touchdown. He had the one-handed snag.
Sweet.
Yeah, very sweet, very sweet.
He had another catch too with his hands.
He had 2 in the 2 playoff games. He's had 7 receptions for 141 yards, 5'11", 190. You don't hear a lot about him, but he's been there. And I always thought he was like a running back when I first saw it. Because he was kind of hefty. And I was like, who is this guy? And but he makes plays, man. But the one-handed grab, the thing that I like, as you know, as a wide receiver, when you're on that sideline, you got to give that quarterback room on the sideline to place that ball.
Right.
And he stacked and kept him on his hip, the DB, enough that he had room to fade to the ball and put his hand out and make a catch.
And the ball was a dime. The ball was beautiful. Drake made, man. That was beautiful.
And so then the other one is my number 1 is Marvin Mims. You talk about Drake May's throw. This throw was even better, in my opinion. The one down the left sideline to Mims from Bo Nix. I mean, you talk about a dime dropping that thing over there. And again, the same thing with Mims. Had that DB on his hip pocket, had room to fade to the ball. Nice 2-hand catch for the touchdown. And then he fell into the camera guy, which I wasn't happy about that. Camera guy, when you get up, cameraman, if you're listening, take your camera with you.
Yeah, move out the way. Just move out of the way. You see him coming, move.
He did move, but he left his camera.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Take the camera and get out of the way. That's what hurts the player, the camera, not the person. Yeah. When you hit those cameras, man, the cameras are made out of metal.
well, he had the little stick that was sticking out of it.
And that's even more dangerous. Mess around and get doggone stabbed.
He had 8 targets, Irv, and the thing that even a little bit better, he had 2 kickoff returns for 50 yards. So he's my number 1, Marvin Mims out of Denver, out of Oklahoma. Not very many receivers come out of Oklahoma, but he's an Oklahoma 3rd-year receiver.
Keith Jackson came out of Oklahoma. He's tight end, but he was a tight end receiver. Yeah. So I only got 1, man, and it's gonna sound like I'm, his.
You went with a tight end?
No. I got 1. He only had 62 yards and catches. And that's Puka Nacua.
Okay.
Because man, that cat, even though he only had 62 yards and catches, he had some pivotal catches. He had some catches. Those 62 yards that he had, obviously, it wasn't what we're used to seeing him in terms of yardage, in terms of receiving, but they were impactful. They were timely. They were big plays. And then his blocking, man. He made 1 block where he blocked 2 guys one time and knocked them both on the ground. I'm like, man, this cat. He would just remind. I'm not trying to count myself, but he reminds me of myself. I used to try to be physical like that and make sure I was a good blocker as well as, a receiver, because I believe blocking also helped to set me up when I was trying to run routes, because the DB doesn't know if you're coming off to block him or he doesn't know if you're coming off to run a route. Just you're going to do something to him every time you get down the field. So I believe that helps you out when you're trying to run a route. But, man, he had that 4th down reverse. I mean, they just use him. He's like, to me.
And he's durable.
What?
Too.
Yeah.
Very durable.
Yeah, he's missed, 2 games, I think, in his whole career up to this point. To me, he's not just the most valuable player on that team, but he's the most valuable player in the NFL for season 2025.
They're going to give it to a quarterback.
Yeah, I know they're going to give it to a quarterback, but to me, he's the most valuable player. There's nobody, and I think I saw on one of the, whether it was ESPN or one of the sports shows, they had him ranked in the top 3 receivers in the NFL. There's no way that he's less than number 1 because of everything that he does and how they use him. They use him in their blocking schemes. They use him when it's clutch time to catch a pass. When everybody knows they're going to throw the ball to him, they throw it to him anyway in double coverage, and he catches it and makes guys work to get him down to the ground. He's a big kid. He's a strong kid. He's a confident kid. and he's a baller, man. He is a baller all the time.
You know who's happy as a pig in slop? Is Devontae Adams.
Oh yeah.
There's no pressure on him.
No, none.
None. And
none.
He let him have all the attention. I'll get my 2-3 catches per game, make my 15, 20 million, whatever he's making.
Well, he led the league. Devontae led the league in touchdowns. Yeah.
Make my Taco Bell commercial. Hey, life is great.
Yes. So yes. Yep.
He no longer has that number 1 tag.
No.
And he hasn't said a word.
Nope.
Like, hey, throw me the ball.
Nope.
He didn't go AJ Brown.
Nope.
None of that.
Nope.
He's just like, hey, keep it moving.
He's playing it right, man. They're a great compliment to each other because both of them didn't have a whole lot of yards in the game, but both of them had big catches in the game. Devontae had that big hand right in the end zone between the players, between the defenders, in his hands when the guy was draped all over him. It was a great catch. In bad weather with your hand, oh man, just a great catch. He showed on that particular play how great of a receiver he is. He's said to be a future Hall of Famer, and probably so. I don't know how many catches he has total over his career, but I guess if he wins, has he won a championship? Has he won a championship, a Super Bowl?
Not that I
know of. Yeah, not that I know of. But yeah, he's a great player, and they're a great compliment to each other. Eddie Casper in the house. Brian Chavez, what's going on, Brian? Shout out to you, brother. Billy Bell. Dawn is in the house. Hey, Dawn. That's who we got watching right now. Yeah, okay. We got a few folk watching. And Eddie Casper said, Bootay. That's how you say his name. Bootay. He said Bootay. Bootay.
I told you it had a little New Orleans flang.
It's booty. It's booty.
No, he just
he put booty up there first, Booty. Then he said Bootay. Booty, bootay. It's booty. So let's go with the first game on Saturday. That was the Bills Broncos. The score ended up being 30-33. The Broncos won in overtime. What you got?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When it started, I'm like, okay, Buffalo got to run the ball. Denver has a great defense. And before you know it, Allen, 3 turnovers that led, they was down 23-10 before you knew what happened. And I'm watching Allen, and I mean, he had one scramble, and the guy just barely touched it. And he coughed the ball up. And, I'm like, what is he? Because I had thoughts of him way back, a couple of years ago when he was just turning the ball over. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? But remember this. Denver looked at it last year. They lost 31-7 at Buffalo last year.
Right.
Their whole mindset was, this ain't happening this year.
This ain't happening again.
This ain't happening again. So Buffalo started out well. I wanted them to run the ball. They ran the ball. They had Cooks wound up with 24 carries for 117 yards, and Allen added 66. Mm-hmm. But what happened was they started going up and down the field, and everybody scoring points. Defense weren't doing nothing on either side. Yeah. Think about when you talked about defense earlier. You got 2 teams that's scoring 30-plus points. I mean, that's a lot of points when you talk about this late in the season going towards the Super Bowl. That's a lot of points.
But like you said, that's what they want in the league. They want an entertaining game like that where there's a lot of points scored.
And so here's the thing that I liked about Denver. Throughout the game, Denver, Bo Nix, 8 different receivers caught balls. And even one of them was to the lineman, Frank Crum. Mm-hmm. So then I'm thinking, I'm looking at Sean Payton. I'm like, he's putting everything out there. And Bo Nix kept playing well, like you said. He had the one where he rolled to the right and threw all the way back to the left to Humphreys. So, I mean, they were pulling out all the stops. So I wasn't surprised that this game went into overtime. Here's a couple other things that I noted when they were going down the field. We talked about the over-the-shoulder catch. Mm-hmm. Coleman. Here's the one the Keon Coleman guy. He had dropped 1 touchdown, and then he comes back and he catches the slant, stops, and then he dives for about 3 yards and scores. Mm-hmm. So, again, both of these teams were back and forth. I thought Allen played okay.
Right.
He did some great throws, but then he missed a lot of throws.
Right.
He missed
bad weather too, though. You give a little bit, just a little, not a lot,
a little bit,
just a little bit.
He had a long ball to Brandon Cooks that he underthrew. He missed Knox on a one that post that would have been a touchdown. So there's some plays that he missed that I was kind of surprised of because everybody was in the same. Now, hats off to the play caller. They had a hook and ladder that got them in position. They were down 27.
Yeah, that was nice.
Because to have the cojones to call that then
and then execute it. Execute it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So
and when he threw that ball, I thought the ball came out kind of quick. I'm like, he threw that ball quick. Then boom, he lateraled it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. Because the ball came out of his hands quick.
And Irv, it was tipped. It was tipped, actually. So it was a lot of good things. You knew at some point that the last person that had the ball had a shot to win it.
Right.
And sure enough, that's what happened. Now the pass interference, we'll talk about that. I'm not so sure that was a pass interference, but that's a whole nother thing. All right, there you go.
So
there you go.
So for both teams, it was up and down. For both quarterbacks, it was up and down. Denver, like you said, Denver was doing well in the first half, but they came back the second half and had a second half lull. First down, they got one first down on 4 drives and saw they had a 13-point lead. It started to evaporate. So when they had the ball at the end of the game with the game on the line, I said to myself, okay, this is a defining moment for Bo Nix. He's still young. He hasn't really proven himself in the playoffs. Is he going to be able to take this team down and score? Because if he does, this is going to take him to another level. And obviously, with 8 plays, 73 yards, TD drive, 26-yard dime to Mims, which was right before that he broke his ankle. So the up and down game he completed his first 5 passes of the game, but then he didn't connect with his next 6 passes. So he was kind of up and down, just like Josh Allen was. But for me, Josh Allen has been that way all season.
Experience. I thought that was going to play a role.
Exactly. But Bo Nix has been doing this. He's been ascending and doing better. Not that he's been throwing the ball all over the place with an aerial assault or anything like that, but he's been playing better as the season continued to progress. But as the season went on, Josh still had lulls along the way. Nix was 26 of 46, 279 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interceptions, and he led the team in rushing. Obviously, unfortunately, he broke his ankle. But there were 2 things that I noticed that I can remember that really hurt the Bills. The end of the first half. At the end of the first half, before the first half ended, it was big because Denver scored to make it 17-10. It was 10-10 for a while. And Denver scored to make it 17-10. Had 16 seconds left on the clock. The Bills didn't have any timeouts. And then Josh Allen gets the ball and he's stripped while he's trying to scramble, recovered by Denver. 2 seconds left on the clock. And they get a 50-yard field goal and they go up now by 10. And I was like, what in the world happened? Because I think I walked away from the TV and I came back and now they're up by 10. And it's not even halftime yet. Or just halftime. So now they're up by 10. So had that not happened, the Bills at the end of the game would have been kicking a field goal to win the game rather than to go into overtime.
That's an excellent point because that was big right before the half.
That was huge.
That really was big.
It was huge. It was huge. And then on the final drive in overtime, penalties killed the Bills. They killed them. They got off the field. The first overtime possession, they got off the field. But then Allen threw an interception and gave Denver the ball back, right? So Denver drove the ball across midfield. And then was it Teron Johnson had the big pass interference penalty. Joey Bosa, remember, he had a penalty for roughing the passer, but it was declined. Yeah, but it was declined. And then Davius White, he had a defensive pass interference and put the ball on the 8-yard line.
There you go.
Watch this. On the final possession, the Bills they were called for 53 yards in penalties on the final possession of the game. 53 yards. They had a total of 63 yards in penalties for the whole game. 53 of them were on the last drive.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
53 of them were on the last drive. So that really hurt. There were 2 things that hurt the Bills. And maybe that's why they fired fired the coach. Because, I mean, come on. You got the mistake where Allen throws the ball, or, he strip sacked. Got 2 seconds left. That's another 3 points they give away. And then all these penalties, man. In the last, you got to play discipline when the game is on the line like that. You can't.
Unless you get tight. They got tight and start making dumb.
And Joey Bosa knows better. Even though they declined his penalty. He knows better. Right. You can't hit the quarterback after he's let the ball go, after you've taken a couple of steps. You can't do that, particularly in the game now. You just can't. So the penalties hurt them, which to a certain extent is undisciplined. But, there's a lot of hand checking that goes on. I don't like that. All the hand checking. I mean, they're waiting for the ball and they're holding each other as they're going down the field. The receiver has his hands on the DB and the DB has his hands on the receiver as they're going down the field. That's crazy.
Every game you see it.
Yeah, that's crazy. When did they start allowing that to happen? That was never like that with us. That was never like that with us.
You just couldn't do it.
I mean, you can rub and bump, but you couldn't put your hands on the DB. And he couldn't actually literally put his hands on you, and he had to look for the ball.
Well, it's obvious what you're talking about when we talk about the Bears, the crazy miracle play,
the interception.
Caleb threw and scored the touchdown to the tight end.
Yeah, the tight end held the DB till the ball came. They let it go, caught the ball. That was an unbelievable play. By the way, I was like, what in the world is going on here?
Crazy.
I ain't never seen nothing like that before. So 49ers Seahawks. Oh, my mom is in the house. Mama's in the house.
Hello,
Vinny
Mom.
Capriati's in the house. He's Fryar 86. Rams versus Patriot. Richard, sorry for your loss. Richard Melton's not here, Vinny. I don't think Richard is watching right now. He is probably in a corner somewhere, sniffling.
Well, they done fired the coach. They lost.
Yeah, Richard is discombobulated right now. He is in mourning. Yeah,
he might be in the corner
with a bottle, getting drunk. So he might not. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrow. Richard Melton, come on in, man. I hope he comes on. Mama, what's up? What's up, Vinny? Maybe it's in the script. I don't know what's in the script. That's Eddie Casper. I don't know what script, Eddie. 49ers Seahawks. This was just, this was a replay of 2 weeks prior, but the score really told the story, because 2 weeks prior the score was close. It really didn't tell. I think the Seahawks on their first drive.
Low scoring game. It was
a low scoring game, but the Seahawks on their first drive, they went for it on fourth down and didn't score any points on the fourth down, close to the end zone. So that was a 6 points or 3 points that they didn't, and then they missed like 3 field goals. So but they beat them up and ran all over them and defended them and kept them. I think it was to 3 points or 6 points. And this time they kept them to the same 6 points and scored 41. Just ran up and down the field.
I'm a big San Francisco fan. I was shocked by this, to be honest with you, in the playoffs. But it made sense now when I thought about it and all the injuries. The injuries finally caught up with San Francisco.
Well, yeah, just finally caught. Well, I mean, they won last week against the Eagles because the Eagles, the same thing with the Eagles. The Eagles weren't playing good football, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, and it finally caught up to them.
Yeah.
And San Francisco knew that they had to come in and play good football. And it was embarrassing for Philadelphia because of the tattered team that the 49ers had to put together, particularly on the defensive side. And then Kittle went out early in the game, and they still couldn't beat the 49ers. The Eagles still couldn't beat the 49ers. But the 49ers put a lot into that game, and then now they got to go back to San Francisco and then travel again to Seattle. So it just caught, like you said, it caught up to them.
Yeah. And then when you talk about Seattle, man, the tone was set on that 95-yard kickoff.
Right. It was over. It was over right then. You knew the game was over. When he scored that opening kickoff for a touchdown, it was over. I'm like, wow, okay.
And
it's going to be like that.
The Kenneth Walker 3 touchdowns on the ground. So they were clicking, man. You know, and to have a week layoff, I didn't expect him to click on all cylinders like that.
Right.
But man, once they saw blood in the water with San Francisco, San Francisco had no shot. Half of them was checking out. They was going fishing while the game was going on. They was like, well, I'll see you next year. And so it was hard to watch that one.
Well, you know, they had that week off, and I kind of anticipated or kind of expected them to come out not flat, but not, you know, on all cylinders at the beginning of the game. But when you have an opening kickoff like that, ran backward, that jump started whatever lull they were going to come out and have, whatever numbness that they would, whatever you know, rhythm they didn't have, that all went away. That all went away.
And you think about it, Sam Darnold, he's like, well, ain't no pressure on me. You know, he's scoring like that, you know, and we running the ball. I ain't got to do nothing crazy.
And that's a perfect scenario for Sam Darnold. And Seattle's been able to do that. They have a great doggone defense. They play great defense. They get off the field and get the ball back in the hands of the offense. And when that offense is running the ball, they got those 2 running backs. When they're running the ball and having success.
Well, not 2 now, because one of them's out. Carbonet is done.
Right.
You know, you've played in just about every stadium. Have you played in Seattle, right?
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Do you remember playing? Because remember that we played. They had the Seattle the King Dome.
Right, the King Dome. Yeah,
that was inside.
Yeah, it was inside.
No, I've never played on the outdoor field.
No,
I played. It was in that doggone dome with their bad turf.
Right. Well, we played when a lot of teams had bad turf because turf was bad for you. They got that real nice stuff now. It's artificial, but it's nice. Yeah. We played on concrete. We should be suing for that. No, seriously, because you know, falling on that, they never made concessions or even took into consideration what that would do to the body. You know, falling. You know, they initially, artificial turf was put in or incorporated on fields for the NFL for TV because teams didn't get dirty. You know, the uniforms didn't get dirty. The team, the game moved a little faster. And it was good for TV, but it wasn't good for the athletes' bodies who were out there falling on that turf, getting turf burn and messing up their knees and shoulders and concussions and all that kind of stuff from falling on that turf. They never took that into consideration, as they never took into consideration the concussions that come along with playing professional football, period. So I think that's another lawsuit we could have, along with the concussion lawsuit, the fact that we had to play on turf. I played on turf most of my career. You know, I played on turf at 4 years in Nebraska. I played on turf 8 of the 9 years in New England. They got grass my last year there. Then I went down and played 3 years in grass and played some turf games, but 3 years on the grass with Miami. Then I came to Philly and played in the vet for 3 years on turf. Yeah, man. Shoot.
And there's nothing worse than taking a shower after you get one of them turf burns.
Turf burns?
That is the worst.
Listen, I remember, I'll never forget this. We were in Pittsburgh. What team? I think I was on the Eagles, playing in Pittsburgh. And I caught a ball and landed on the field, and my arm hit first. And I looked down, I looked at my arm, all of this was gone. Matter of fact, my arm's still a little darker right there. All of this was gone. And I looked on the field, and it was rolled up on the field, looked like a booger. Because I landed and slid, and all of that was gone.
Yep.
All of it gone. Like, man. Then you get in the shower after the game, and it just, whoa, good gracious alive.
just telling you listeners some stories, because then you go to sleep, it bleeds through the thing and then sticks to your sheet.
Sticks to the sheet.
And now you got to rip that off. And it starts all over again.
Yep.
True story, right?
Yep, true story. Yep. Bleeds through the dressing and sticks to the sheets. No, man. The things we go through. But yeah, that was man, the Seahawks are on fire.
Yeah.
They're rolling. They've obviously taken advantage, and it's done them some good. The 1 week they had off, the little bye they had because they were the number 1 seed. Now they have to play the Rams But anyway, we'll get to that.
Rams got to travel to them. Yeah.
Texans, Patriots.
Hey, you know the national championship is going to be on about 15 minutes, so we got to end on time, bro, because we got to look at this national championship game. I want your prediction, but go ahead and finish.
I'm not looking at no national championship game.
What's
man.
wrong with you?
I'm not looking.
What's wrong with you? Okay,
I'm gonna watch a story or something. Read a book, man.
Read a book. With you? All right, which game you got?
Texans, Patriots.
Texans and Patriots. Okay. Oh gosh, this one hurt. I felt bad.
Yeah, I felt gonna say the same thing. I felt bad.
But I remember the week before C.J. Stroud was playing against Pittsburgh.
Looked the same way.
He was coughing the ball up.
Yep.
It was like
same
we
thing.
were like, where did you get these fumbles from? It was like new fumbles. It was like new ways to give up the ball. And I'm saying, like, what is this? I mean, it wasn't even professional.
Right.
And it was scary. So then he comes out this week and then he's doing some of the same stuff. And then he has that look on his face.
He had a meltdown. He looked like a deer in headlights.
Trust me. You've been in enough locker rooms, as have I. If you see that look on a guy's face and
Get him out. Get him out.
You're like, hey, you might slap him. Like,
Get him out.
What's wrong with you? I mean, and it was just so obvious, man.
He was hard.
The Houston's run game was not effective. The Patriots just came out. This is how bad the Houston's running game was. Woody Marks, 17 yards. Chubb, 14 yards. He had no Schultz. He had no Nico Collins. And then here's the problem. I kept watching the game, and they would have first and 10, and then they would get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Second and 10, they would get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're in third and long. And the first and second down plays, when they did pass the ball, they had intermediate to long routes. They never gave him a chance to get settled and give him some short passes to get going and to lather up, as they say. Mm-hmm, and I was like, what are y'all? And they never changed, Irv. So he continued that way, trying to make big plays because they found themselves in third and long often. The running game wasn't working.
Right.
And then every time they passed the ball, it was like desperation. And I kept seeing it. And it was crazy, man. And so, both quarterbacks to me didn't look great the first half, but New England's whole idea was let's shut down the run.
Right.
Which they did,
right,
and make CJ Stroud beat us. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't. He didn't show up at all.
No, he was horrible. And Drake had Drake May had some turnovers. And he didn't play great, but he didn't have to play great because this was a defensive game. There was 8 turnovers between the two teams. Boy, they were just turning the ball over. It was crazy. CJ was just, not CJ. Yeah, what's his name? CJ Stroud. Yeah, he was just throwing in it. He just had a meltdown. He was skittish in the pocket, struggled with his accuracy. He was throwing the ball up for grabs when there are times when a quarterback you got to eat it. You got to eat it. You got to take the sack, and he's throwing it up for grabs and getting the ball intercepted. What are you doing? This is not the guy that was drafted number 2 overall a few years ago. What are you doing? You look nothing like that guy. Even the 10-yard pass that he threw to Kirk, the touchdown, he threw it behind him.
Yeah,
it was a bad pass. He had to reach back. It should have gotten intercepted.
This is true.
He had to reach back to get that. But listen, the defense for the Patriots, Mike Vrabel defense. They're playing with energy. They're playing with determination. They're playing with intensity. They're playing with toughness.
They can smell it.
They can smell it. They can smell it. They. I didn't know they were that good. And who would have thought, man? The Patriots were 3-14 last year.
But one of the comments that I heard, one of the players says they talked all week about Houston's defense, and they took it, and the Patriots defense took it personal.
Right.
What about us?
But hats off to the Patriots offense and Drake May, and I believe Drake May is the man. But hats off to them for bad weather, but playing and producing, and because Drake, he wasn't he didn't have a offensive arsenal throwing the ball all over the place like he normally does. This last two games where he just had to do what he needed to do, where the defense took over and he just did what he needed to do. But he threw some darts, man. He had a dart to Douglas. He had Booty, had that Boutte. Diggs, he threw a dart to Diggs. I mean, he was great when he needed to be great. Yeah. He was great when he needed to be great. Yes, he had the ball stripped from him a few times and, lost the ball a couple of times, but
but you know what's interesting? Well. You and I talked about this at the beginning of the season in terms of Drake May, how he was going to do in the playoffs. He was sacked 5 times.
Right.
Coughed the ball up a couple of times.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to watch this next round, obviously, how he fares. Now, Denver has a pretty good defense, which we'll talk about a little bit.
It ain't Houston defense, though.
No, it's not.
But let me make this point about DeMarco Ryans. Mm-hmm. So the Texans offense and CJ Stroud was so bad that they were down by 12 points with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left, and they punted the ball because DeMarco Ryans believed that he had a better chance with his defense trying to score, get the ball back, than putting it in the hands of trying to run, get a first down with his offense, going forward on first down with his offense. You're down by 12, 4 minutes left. You got to go for it. Fourth down. You don't punt the ball. And nobody said anything about it either. Everybody agreed that was the right decision because the way CJ was going and the way that offense is not producing, you got a better chance with your defense being on the field, maybe scoring defensively. Rams, Bears. Overtime. Great game.
Great game. It lived up to this billing. I'll be honest with you. I didn't pick the Rams to go in there with that weather.
Me neither.
I didn't, but they went on a 14-play opening drive early.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, Self, you picked the Bears and you forgot because you got on the hype train, the Caleb hype train, and you forgot that their Bears defense is like ranked number 28th.
Yeah, they not very good. and
oh my God.
Matthew Stafford, I was impressed that they came out. Matthew Stafford, they came out and they still did what they do. They did start running the ball in the second half, fourth quarter, but they were throwing the ball, man. They were throwing it, and they did not let the weather have an impact on them whatsoever. It did have a little bit of an impact, but it didn't stop them. They kept.
You can tell when he got cold. You can tell when he got cold, because he come out and he spray the ball when he come off the sideline. I'm like, after a few series,
right.
That hype was over. The adrenaline would settled in.
Ball flying out of his hands.
Yeah, man. So, but it was a great game, and I know the biggest hoopla is about that play that Caleb Williams went back. How often does that happen? You can't live like that.
No, you can't live like that. It was a great play, and because of when it happened, had it happened in the middle of the game, it wouldn't have been as big. But because the game was on the line, the fourth down play, the game was over. They didn't complete the pass or score on it. The game was over. So he had to score. It was a 50-yard, 14-yard pass. He threw that ball 50 yards in the air to get a 14-yard completion.
I love the Bears, and people talk about how often they came back this year, but they're not. You can't make a living like that. It's great to watch. It's fun, but you're not going to make a living.
But you know what? It's on Caleb Williams. The game is on Caleb. First of all, they kept going for it on fourth down, the Bears. And they scored on 2 fourth down. They scored 2 fourth down TDs. But they also failed on 3 fourth down attempts. And all 3 of those fourth down attempts that they failed on were all in field goal position. That's 9 points.
Yeah.
That's 9 points. You see these teams, these coaches making the decision, they're on the 40-yard line, 30-yard line. It's instead of taking the points, they go for fourth down. They go for it on fourth down and don't get it. You've driven the ball all the way down. Take the points. The game is close. Take the points. They went for it on fourth down 3 times in field goal position and didn't get it. You'd think after the first time they wouldn't have done that. Take the points. That's 9 points.
Are they doing analytics or are they not going on their gut? I think they're doing that. They got that sheet.
I think it's some but both. And then you had the Unduze. He dropped the touchdown on the opening drive.
Yeah.
And they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. he dropped a touchdown. So they should have won this game. And then you're in position to win the game. It's overtime. You're down and you're close to field goal position. You just need a couple more runs. You just made a fourth down, a big play on fourth down in overtime. And this cat throws the ball in harm's way. That's what you don't, that just makes me feel as though, makes me think that this cat, he's just not there yet. Caleb Williams, he's just not there in terms of his maturity, in terms of his quarterback prowess. Why would you put the ball in harm's way?
I agree, Irv, but that particular play that you're referencing, I think they should have rolled him out. Him on the
It doesn't matter. He shouldn't have threw the ball over there. His receiver wasn't even looking at him.
But I'm saying now you put more pressure on the defense if he goes out there because he can run.
I understand that. I understand that.
They chose not to make that kind of play.
Let him, because he can run, and let him run or hand the ball to the running back. All they needed was a few more yards.
Okay.
And they kick a field goal and they win the game.
Yeah.
It was overtime. But for him to make that throw where you got 3 defenders in that area, man, that was really, really a bad decision. Bad decision.
All right.
The decisions that they made, coaches and players, quarterback in particular, they deserve to lose that game. Particularly those fourth down decisions. When you're in field goal position, man, you're in the playoffs. Take the freaking points.
I agree. I think it's a macho thing. Oh, we're going to show you. We're going to go for it. Yeah, whatever.
Bad.
So
bad decision. So
all right, man, let's hit the preview because the game done came on, which
Lord.
You ain't gonna watch the championship. Which I think
so I don't care if it came on.
I love Indiana's story, but I think Miami's gonna win.
Yeah, because you're from Miami, you want Miami to win.
Yeah, a little bit of that, but I love the Indiana story.
Yeah. I don't even know the story, so.
Okay. So which one you want to talk about first?
Well, I'm just AFC because it begins with an A. N comes after A.
All right. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Patriots got to go to Denver. I don't see, because Denver doesn't have their quarterback, and Denver's defense is not a great defense. It's not like Houston. It's not like the Patriots. It's not like it's not one of the top defenses that's playing this weekend. I just don't see. It would be a miracle if Denver. No, it would be if Denver can pull this off, and with a quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass this season, comes in and starts, and hasn't been a starter since he's been in the league. He's been in the league 6 years, but he in his time of playing spottingly in 20 different games, he's thrown 8 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That's not good. I think for his career, in that time that he's been on the field, he completes 60% of his passes, just over 60% of his passes. That's decent, but it's not good enough. I just think that's a great advantage for the Patriots.
Well, New England is 0-4. They've never won a playoff game in Denver. They're 0-4.
We used to lose when we were in Denver. You were part of that too. We used to go to Denver and sucking air out there.
In terms of playoff game. But you just mentioned something that I was going to bring up, sucking air.
Yeah.
If they can keep them on the field and get them winded.
Keep who on the field and get them winded?
Keep New England on the field and get them winded?
Well, after the first quarter, almost second quarter, that's when you get yourself together. It's that first quarter you gotta deal with that first quarter.
You gotta make some hay that first quarter.
Right.
If you can get them winded, because it's gonna take them a minute to adjust. But I just think the physical defense with New England right now, they know that they can force turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as Drake May protects the football, that new quarterback from Denver is gonna be in trouble.
They're gonna blitz him. I would blitz him. He don't know where to go with the ball. Blitz him. Run everybody. Run everybody at him because it's going to confuse him. And then once you get him, you hit him a few times and get him skittish back there. Yeah. It's over. Game over.
I just think, like I said earlier, they smell it, and I just don't see Denver winning. That's why, like you said, I wish Bo Nix was there.
Right.
A truer game.
Right.
I just think defensively, they got a lot. They got a lot for Denver. And if Denver's going to have a chance, they need to score. They need to score early, and they need to put pressure on Drake. And they need to score defensively.
Right, which they don't do that. They don't have. They have an average defense, or it's a little above average.
Right. So
it's not what the Patriots saw this past week. Yeah, it's not. They saw the best last week, and they were able to handle it. Yeah, there were turnovers, but they kept it cool and stayed in the game and managed to be able to end up on top when it was all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle? So then you got the Rams in Seattle. Ooh, that's a tough one, man. Seattle's defense, Seattle's defense is tough, but the Rams defense played tougher than I've seen. I was surprised. I'm like, wait a minute.
They really did.
The Rams defense played tough this past week, and I was impressed. And like you said, Seattle only has one of the running backs now. They don't have both of them.
And
it might be a game where Sam Darnold has to throw the ball a little bit more than he wants to, or than he has been. He's had to.
The jury is still out. The jury is still out on him. I'm gonna bring you a stat that you may or may not have remembered. The last game, Week 16, Puka Nacua had 12 receptions for 225 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford threw for 457.
Mm-hmm. The last one against them.
Yeah.
And
that was without Devontae Adams.
Right.
So now you got both of those guys back. They have this three-headed monster tight end package that they have.
Yeah. Sean McVay is a genius, man.
Yeah, man. I'm going to give the edge to the Rams because I think Sam Darnold, I think the moment may still be a little bit too big for him.
Right.
The one running back, I think that's going to hurt him. So the only way they have a shot, they got to hold the ball. They got to sustain drives and not give up the ball, not 3 and outs.
Or do what they do. Matthew Stafford and that offense, they're an offensive team. They win games with their offense. They have a decent defense. They stepped it up this past week, which I haven't seen them play at that level all season long. If they can play defensively against Seattle the way they played this past week, they'll be just fine. And Sean McVay, man, will come up with a game plan. They're running on all cylinders. Everybody's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's banged up on the offensive line. They do a decent job of protecting Matthew Stafford. Again, this is a great defense they're going against. It's not as good as Houston, but they still cause problems for a lot of quarterbacks. But if they can get a lead and make Sam Darnold and keep that offense under control and make them one-dimensional, stop the run, make them one-dimensional, make Sam Darnold throw to try to keep up, then the old Sam Darnold will show up. The Sam we know. Come on, Sam.
I hope he exercises those demons, but I just think the moment may be a little too big for him.
Right. And Matthew Stafford's been there before. He's been in this kind of moment. He's won a championship, so he knows. And that's why they're playing the way they're playing. That's why they were able to go to Chicago and win in Chicago. Because he's been in these types of moments, and it's not too big for him. He knows what to do. He knows how to handle it. And, man, those guys came up big. So, you know what? I'm going to go with the Rams as well. It'll be a good game.
All right, so we're looking
what time's the first game? What time's the first game?
You don't make me a liar. I want to say 4:30.
Who is the first game? I got to preach. I'll be back by then.
No, Irv. I don't know. You put me on the spot, bro.
Okay. Well, one starts at 4, the other one's 9 or 8. Yeah, they're both in the afternoon or evening.
Okay, you're gonna make me look now.
But look it up.
I'm looking right now, dog.
Mike, Eddie Cash said, Mike looks itchy. You trying to get to the show? Eddie Cash.
All right, so no, the Broncos. I am itchy right now. At 3:00. Broncos and Patriots play at 3:00, and then the other one's at 6:30.
Okay, I like when they start. I like when they start earlier like that.
But this is the beauty of live TV. I can pause it, so I paused it. So once we get off, then I'll be right there where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, but you'll be behind
in terms of the game. No, I won't.
Be behind.
The commercials, I'm gonna fast forward and watch the game. That way,
then catch up. Okay, then you catch up by halftime.
It's a technique.
Oh no, I know what you're doing.
Coordinated.
You'll catch up by halftime. All right, listen. Thanks for being with us today, y'all. Eddie Casper, shout out to you. Vinny Capriati, shout out to you. Who else is on here? My mother, shout out, Mama. Dawn is in the house. Shout out, Dawn. Was it Brian Chavez? Shout out to you. Thanks for being with us today, y'all. This is Wild
Trust
Out
me,
World.
they watching the NCAA game right now.
My mama ain't watching the NCAA game. My mother is not watching the NCAA game. Trust me. Listen, y'all, this is Wild Out's World. Shout out to you. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place, same purpose. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'm Irving Fryar. That's Michael Timpson. We'll see y'all next week. Wild Out's World.
Peace
Where's
out.
the outro? Let me hit the button. Okay.
Hit the button.
Hit the button.
This has been Whiteout's World.
Touchdown.
The legends, Irving Fryar and Michael Timpson. Are you freaking kidding me? If it's football talk you're looking for, I think we've got you covered. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on YouTube at Whiteout's World. See you next time.
Let's go! Let's go! 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 Go!